All I'm saying is Drake Maye should not win MVP over Matt Stafford. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GOAT Talk. A lot happened this weekend with the AFC and the NFC Championship. A lot to go over. Let's get into it.
Doing a little something different. We're going to start off with the Super Bowl match first, a match that happened, I believe, back in 2014. All of us were in high school at that point, and now we're all graduated, living our adult lives, and we have the Patriots and the Seahawks, which, of course, for Chris's sake, benefited well at the time. It was the Malcolm Butler interception at the goal line, Al Michaels' famous call, and Chris continues to live on through this podcast, and we all vicariously live through him as he's the only one that is currently still in the NFL playoffs. So, Chris, congratulations to you. I know the other two on the side will not congratulate you, but I will because I don't care. So I'll congratulate you. And let's just kind of dive into the Super Bowl matchup right away. What are some initial thoughts? Not talk about the games yet. Just let's talk about the matchup and how we got here.
I hope the Seahawks, if they get to the 1 yard line, I hope they run the ball this time. I hope they don't try to throw a slant and get picked off again.
Dumbest play
when you have that. It's crazy. You had Marshawn Lynch in the backfield and you throw a slant. What are you doing? I don't know if anybody's seen like all the after it. Like Marshawn Lynch went up to Pete Carroll and literally just laughed in his face. Like I think that's so funny. But what a rematch we got.
It's crazy how it's like I saw something. It was like, how many times are we going to see that replay before the kickoff of Super Bowl 60 of just that one play like that? Like, because there are plays from that game that I definitely remember. But that one play will just go down forever. And like, you have the best running back, arguably in the league at that point. You're at the 1 yard line to win the Super Bowl. I'm grateful that they threw the slant, but I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, oh my God.
The power back.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this matchup. I'm terrified of that offense, that they are just firing on all cylinders with there's no way they're slowing down. So It's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, we'll get into the picks later as we always do, but it's kind of a good transition, Chris, into the playoff, the championship matches that we had this weekend, and it was a tale of two games. Honestly, you had one game that was arguably 40 degrees outside in the first quarter, and then by the start of the fourth quarter, you couldn't even see the field. And then you had another game where it was just a complete, not a shootout, but it definitely had its moments where there were some good opportunities. But kind of first talk about the AFC Championship game, obviously a 10-7. That's probably one of the lowest scoring AFC Championship games that I remember in a long time. I'll just debrief the game quick. I only saw the second half of the game. I didn't see the first half. So I was out, so I missed the first half of the game. But I honestly thought, I don't know if I would put the loss on Jared Stidham completely. I think there were times in the game where there were some drops, some big misses that Denver had some opportunities. They just couldn't get the run game going. They just couldn't run the ball. The Patriots defense played very well, but you saw later in that game, once the Patriots had the lead, they just did what they needed to do to win the game. And that was run the ball, which wasn't really even efficiently until Drake Maye's play to win the game, essentially. But the three drives in a row there at the end of the game, it was run, 3 and out, run, 3 and out. And then the Broncos would get the ball and they would do the same thing. So, credit to the Patriots. They just got the lead when the timing was right. Couple missed field goals by both teams, but that's really kind of what I took away from it.
Yeah, it was to me, it was just like a boring game to watch, but realistically, it was like a great defensive battle. And I know Chris might take this one way. I really don't mean it as like a dig, but Drake Maye is the first quarterback in NFL history to win the AFC Championship with like under 100 passing yards, which is absurd. That's crazy how your quarterback goes on for under 100 yards, and yet you're still going to the Super Bowl. I
think a lot of people would take that though. Like, imagine that was Josh Allen. You know what I mean?
A win's a win.
Yeah.
I would take being in the playoffs.
I don't mean it as a dig.
No, I know.
A win's a win.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy stat.
It is.
Yeah, he did what, and to your point, Joey, and I think to your point again, Sal, with the weather change and everything, because again, I don't know if they could have predicted how terrible it got within a span of literal minutes. Like there was a point in the beginning of the third quarter where you could see it starting to snow a little bit. Like it wasn't anything crazy. But then by like halfway through, at the end of the Patriots drive, that 9-minute drive to set up the field goal, you could barely see the field. Like the broadcasters were just like, I can't even see when they're punting the ball. We have no idea where the ball is. So I think what they ended up doing was when they got the lead and they just did whatever it took to get the ball down to the other end of the field and just have trust in the defense. I didn't think Vrabel or May or Josh McDaniels were even trying to score the ball for the entirety of after we got the lead, they were just waste as much clock as you can. And I mean, I think Drake Maye, I know he didn't throw the ball well. We'll definitely get into how the weather affected passing on both sides. But he did what he had to do to win the game. He had a rushing touchdown and he rushed for that first down to seal it. I mean, he could, like you were saying, he could throw for 60 yards. He could be 3 for 30. Don't care. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, honestly, I'm sorry, I got to speak on this, but watched the whole game, wasn't entertained. I'm not going to lie to you, and I was very much so. I was surrounded by a bunch of New England fans, being that I live in New England. That was miserable. Got a lot of heat. Having said that, Drake Maye did not, perform outstanding. That's fine. The Patriots defense has just stepped it up. I always feel like, I don't know why, I just feel like the Patriots are always one step ahead of everyone, no matter who's the coach. Doesn't matter. Belichick, Brady, Vrabel, May. It's to me, it always just, puts a dagger in my heart. Not that we have a chance, Jets, but, the fact of the matter is they're always one step ahead of their opponents, and they just seem to get it done. It's crazy. Honestly, just respect to them. This is going to be their toughest task. And on a side note, Chris, you always say, I don't feel good about the next week. I don't feel good about it. And then here every single week, it's just the same story.
Yeah.
I don't feel good with the Texans. Oh, I don't feel good with the Broncos.
But, hey, okay, but I'll be the first one to say it. If Houston had a competent quarterback and if Bo Nix played, they probably lose. They probably lose yesterday. Can we all agree with that?
Yes, but Sam Darnold.
I mean, well, yeah, and let's transition into that game, Greg. You talk about Seahawks Rams, and there was a part of the game I actually turned off. Not because I wanted to, or there were just situationally I didn't watch some of the game. And, I turned the game back on with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and I sat there and I looked at my fiance and I said, Sam Darnold is going to play in the Super Bowl. And I thought to myself, it was his best game that he's ever played that I've seen this year. 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 858 yards combined between both offenses. And I'm like, I sit there and I go to myself, I think, okay, was Sam Darnold bad last year? Was the Vikings defense or offensive line that bad last year? Because to me, the Vikings have more weapons than they did offensively. They have JSN, not taking that away from him. They have Cooper Kupp. He's kind of in the latter stage of his career. But I'm like, that Sam Darnold yesterday looked completely different than he did against, in the playoffs last year against the Rams. And again, home environment. The defense, I think the Seattle defense is definitely better than Minnesota, so that sure helps. But I got to be honest, Sam Darnold balled out yesterday.
Yeah.
And I've came on here and I've been a little upset. And I've said things, not bad, but I've been like, I don't want him to win. And honestly, he deserves to be there now. He really does. He played the best game of his last 2 seasons yesterday when it mattered.
Ever.
And I think that there's a chance. I mean, I can't say there isn't now. He's there. There's a chance. And I just think about a lot of fans in the NFL, and I put myself in this category. You watch the AFC and NFC championship game, and when your team's not in it, you're not in it, right? The Vikings were out early on this year, so I didn't really care much for the NFL, which I love the NFL. I enjoy it. But this year more so, I was just man, whatever happens, happens. It's cool. And then, it's like you get the gut punch of your former quarterback. And I love how the narrative, they're like, oh, well, you did this in Minnesota last year. And I'm like, dude, just stop saying that, please. I don't really care if you want to give him credit, but I just don't want to hear that anymore. I understand what happened, okay? Kurt Menefee, I get it. You don't need to continue to tell me. But it was a good game. I mean, and I think, too, you just saw. I think what really made the difference was the trenches in that game. Offense and defensive lines in that game made the difference. I don't think Stafford did anything to lose the game. It was a clean game on both sides.
Mhm.
I just think they lost the battle up front.
Yeah, and I don't think talking about trenches in front, like K9, like he had 19 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown, which it's a good game. It's nothing
Yeah.
spectacular, but for him to put up those numbers without Charbonnet is huge for them. Once they lost Charbonnet, now the big question was, can they have this run game? Is their run game going to be effective at all? And it was. K9 had a good game, so that's huge for them. I think what we're talking about, Sam Darnold, I think it's kind of like Sam Darnold, how you just said, he deserves to be here. I think it's him. If Baker were to ever make a Super Bowl, I think it's just a little different for those guys because you look at the paths that they took in their career and that they were teammates in Carolina. Baker and Sam Darnold were in the Carolina. They were teammates, and Carolina let both of them go. It's just such a crazy career that he's had and the path that he took to starting with the Jets, his first pass being a pick six, him seeing that he was seeing ghosts. Like now he's playing in the Super Bowl, which credit to him. I hope he does it. I hope he wins it. And JSN is a dog. He is so good. Patriots defense has been great so far, but at this rate, I don't think anybody in the league could cover JSN right now because he's so good.
I'm passing the torch to Greg on this one as a former Sam Darnold owner for the Jets. I don't have much of an opinion on this. The matchup, either if the Rams won or the Seahawks won for us, I don't necessarily think it's a really terrible matchup, but like we were saying, both offenses are just juggernauts, and they're just going to pile on points and just hopefully not turn over the ball, which last night's game between the two of them was really clean. I think both of them threw for 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, no turnovers in that game, correct? And back to Sal's point, the first game was just atrocious. It's like you go from that, and then the JV squad, and then the NFC game is like the varsity team, right? So I really don't. I'm happy for Darnold. I know he's gotten a lot of slack. I'm also happy for Stafford because dude balled out this year. I'm not gonna lie. If he wins MVP, I won't be upset at all. If he gets it, if he gets it over Drake Maye, I'm not gonna be upset because both of them absolutely balled out. But
I got a question.
Away, Greg.
I got a question real quick.
Okay.
Now the Patriots obviously won. They played earlier. Going into the AFC Championship, was there any part of you wishing the Rams won? Because both offenses are significantly powerful, but I think the Rams have the weaker defense. So it was like, were you rooting for that? Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So I had all my family members, like my mom, my sister, my grandmother, because they're all fans. They've been fan of just New England sports in general, and they're just like, they don't watch it like I do, and so they're like, who do we want? Like, now that we're in the Super Bowl, we're coming down from it a little bit. It's just like, who do we want? Like, is it the Rams? Is it the Seahawks? And I personally would have liked to see the Rams, just like you were saying, Joey. The defense is just not the same. The Seahawks, I mean, both offenses can put up well over 30, 40 points. Yeah. But I think the difference is that Seahawks defense for sure.
I also think, though, it comes down to, you've ever heard, the term, you don't want to wish for something, right? You don't want to, say, oh, I'd rather have one team. Because let's say, you play the Rams and you get your teeth kicked in. You're like, oh, shit, that was the team we wanted to play. Now you play the Seahawks and you didn't want them, and now you win. I don't know. It could go both ways, right? I would never sit there and be like, well, who do you want? It's like, well, which of the two lessers do you want?
Yeah.
You don't want to. You got.
I mean, you see that in sports all the time. You see fans chanting for an example, like we want Bama,
Yeah,
then
no, and then you
Alabama
get
comes to the school and
destroyed.
hangs 70
Yeah.
points on
Yeah,
Trust me, I know.
exactly.
Trust me, I know.
Exactly.
them.
Exactly.
But no, yeah, Greg, let's see. What do you got to say about Sam Darnold?
Honestly, dude, when it comes to him, like I have nothing but respect for him. Like it's not like he was like, oh God, fuck the Jets, I'm out. He didn't say that. Like he should have with the way they played. In all honesty, though, like I've said it a million times on here. I've said it to you guys individually. With the Jets, it starts at the top, and they got to just tear everything down. It was never a Sam Darnold issue. Clearly, it shows now. Um, Having said that, when it comes to like how he's performing now, it's nothing but just respect. He's playing so well. Like he's a top, obviously, definitely a top 10 quarterback in the league right now. I would say. And that team kind of scary. You know, like I said though, when it comes to Sam Darnold personally, like I'm not like I'm not like pissed off that the Jets let him go because he could have been at his top of his game and he goes to the Jets and it wouldn't matter. You know. That
So
was
like, would you
I
say
sound
like you're not for the Super Bowl, but just like in general, like you're rooting for him?
100%. Well, yeah, 100%. You know what?
Yeah.
He's nothing but respect. But I really hope he hired a Ghostbuster. But other than that, nothing but the best for him.
It's so interesting though, because there are a couple dudes like that. Because I mean, not necessarily saying that Baker was terrible in Cleveland, right? But when like he first
He won a
started in the
playoff
league,
game for them.
but yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it, because we've talked about it before. Like you can draft all the number one picks in the world. You can hire new head coaches all the time. I think it really just comes down to the system, and I think Sam Darnold has progressed throughout the years. I think he opened a lot of eyes last year when he was on the Vikings and everything like that. But, I think he's now found the system. He's found the right head coach. He's found the right group of guys where he is the vet on that team. Like besides like Cooper Kupp, you can probably say he is one of the super vets on that team. And I think he's showing us the real Sam Darnold and like what we've kind of been waiting for since he was drafted by the Jets.
Now, Sal,
Yeah.
do you think there's any credit due to KOC being the quarterback whisperer?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to think about it, right? Like, they have Clint Kubiak there, came with him from Minnesota. So you keep your OC with your quarterback, right? There was success last year, success this year. You got to give credit to also, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so if I apologize, but it's like he's actually in the Bills head coach running right now. It's like Grant Adusky or Undusky or something like
The
that.
Jaguars?
Yeah, the Jaguars OC,
Yeah.
he was in Minnesota with him as the quarterback coach last year. I mean, yeah, I definitely think it started with Shanahan and the 49ers. I think just being in that system, being in the Shanahan, system, you
The
see what
quarterback
coaches
whisperer, like that's
and quarterbacks can do. And then you go to KOC again, who's been able to, I mean, look what he did with Josh Dobbs for 6 games, right? So like you look at some of those things, I think definitely those two helped. And I think for Darnold, like the Vikings let him walk ultimately. They gave him an offer.
Mhm.
They didn't, give him the offer he wanted. He tested it. They could have franchise tagged him. Now you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, what are we going to do?
Mhm.
And that's, it's nothing against him. I am just more bitter about it. I'm not mad at him. I just am more like, this could be your team here now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Rather than what's going. I'm not saying the Vikings would have made the Super Bowl, but could have made a run.
Well,
So I'm
yeah,
just
like what you were saying too. Like it really comes down to ownership. Are they going to buy in to what they're seeing on the field? And again, I don't know the ins and out of the Vikings like you do, but like I know just based off the past couple of years as in the Patriots. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that we've struggled at all. That's not what I'm saying here. But like you have Robert Kraft, who had Bill's replacement, realized that they screwed up with the replacement, fired pretty much all of the coaching staff, brought back familiar guys, and brought back Vrabel. Like Tennessee must be losing their minds right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think for the ownership and like the Jets and everything, it really falls down to them. I mean, and Joey, I mean, I don't know if we're probably not going to have much time to get into it, but the Bills owner this week just like throwing everybody
Pitiful.
under the bus.
Pitiful.
Like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what it comes down to. Like just across the board in the NFL, you've seen it, right? Like, you look at some people have their guys and they don't want to veer off of that. And then the owner doesn't agree or the coach doesn't agree. And then you see the animosity it creates. And then one guy's out the door. And that's a perfect example with with the Bills. They were like McDermott didn't agree. And here we go, and now there's
Yeah.
who are you going to bring
And
in,
you have
So
a lot of people coming out now saying that Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins, obviously both of them being with the Patriots going to the Super Bowl now, the Bills letting them go because they disagreed with ownership and they spoke out about it. And then that's what ultimately led them to leaving, which now, after that press conference, which was a total disaster, it honestly makes sense. They spoke out on the ownership. And so and kind of just like McDermott. McDermott weeks ago said that we didn't have the pieces and we needed to make a move at the trade deadline. Bean didn't like that. Pagula didn't like that. McDermott's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think quickly before we get into our picks and then Greg's bald bet, let's just touch on two things really quickly. One, quick thought about Mike McCarthy coming to the Steelers, fourth head coach in the franchise. Yeah, I'd like to hear what everyone thinks about that. And then secondly, Jesse Minter going to the Ravens as their head coach. So quick thought, each of you on both of those, and then we'll move into picks and Greg's bet.
McCarthy, I think McCarthy is a better signing for the Steelers than Minter is for the Ravens. Minter going to the Ravens really does not affect me or anything. It doesn't worry me for that team. It really doesn't do much for me. Like he's got to prove it, just like any of these other head coaches that are going to get hired. McCarthy has experience. Obviously, he's been in the league for a while. I think I don't want to say it was totally because of this, because even if it is one more year, he's probably done after one more year. But bringing McCarthy, now it's going to be interesting to see, does Rodgers stay for another year and get to work with McCarthy again and see how that develops. So honestly, I think McCarthy I think it was a decent hire for the Steelers, because if you look at it, his postseason success versus Mike Tomlin's is kind of similar. McCarthy's record, I think, is a little better. I think it's like 11-8 versus Tomlin's 8-8 postseason record. But pretty similar coaches, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll speak on this. I mean, I'll start off with the Ravens when it comes to McCarthy. Or I'm sorry, not McCarthy. Minter. Not a ton to say either. I don't know a ton about him. Being the Rams defensive coordinator I'm sorry, the Chargers. I'm a mess. The Chargers defensive coordinator is, that's cool. I again don't know much about him. Hopefully he does well. Don't really care either way personally. When it comes to the McCarthy one, though, that's someone I know a lot better, and we all probably do as well. I like the move when it comes to the short term, right? Like I'm not thinking that he's gonna be there as long as Tomlin or any of their previous coaches, but when Rodgers is like on the fence of coming back, whatever it may be, I do really like that I think Rodgers had a say in this. To be honest with you, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That would be my thought. Is like he wanted him back too, see if he can get one more run going. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. Not a bad coach, with the Cowboys, so he's always going to be average. So, but again, I think it's a cool move. Not too much about either one, but Chris, I'll send it to you.
I think it's a downgrade for both, even though I know it was time for both teams to move on from both separate coaches at the time, as in Harbaugh and Tomlin. One of my best friends is a Steelers fan, and he's just like, we've been calling for Tomlin's head for the past 5 years, and I'm like, it's interesting because he's a really good coach, but you can definitely tell it was time to move on. And the same for Harbaugh. But do I think the McCarthy deal really makes sense? No, and I don't know enough about the guy for the Ravens to really make an opinion. So I think it's a downgrade just based off of the recent non-success for McCarthy. And then Harbaugh's been there so long, like it's weird having anybody else. And the same with Tomlin. It's weird not going to see them
So weird.
on those respective sidelines next year.
It definitely will be. Well, fellas, this is a sad moment because this is our last NFL pick this year. We will not have another NFL episode pick until the regular season in September. We have
Ugh.
reached the Super Bowl, and then we move on from the NFL after this. Next week is going to be Greg and hockey, and Greg loves hockey. So
Wait,
I'm
what
just
about our
kidding.
Pro Bowl picks?
Yeah,
God.
Pro Bowl. Yeah.
If
All right,
Shadur's
so-
out there,
We'll
if
talk about
Shadur's
baseball
out there,
instead. We got
and
some-
whoever the other
Cody Bellinger's back.
Yeah.
Come on.
So we got
Uh,
one opportunity, one pick. I think I know how this is going to split and play out, but I'm interested. Joey,
yeah, give me the Seahawks, man. I mean, anybody that's watching, what else do you expect out of me? I'm never going to pick the Patriots, just like I would never pick the Dolphins or the Jets. It's just that in-division rivalry.
I wouldn't pick that. I wouldn't pick
Um,
Jets either.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have to worry about picking them for a while. But yeah, I mean, give me the Seahawks. Darnold's balling out this year. I hope he gets it done. He's had like talked about before, he's had a crazy career path. So I think he deserves it. And JSN's just so much fun to watch. He's a dog. So I think he deserves it. Cooper Kupp, get him a ring. And then that defense is just insane. So I think the Seahawks get it done and go Hawks.
Greg.
So there's a few variables here, obviously. Patriots, I hate betting against them. Seahawks look great. One thing I've learned throughout my entire life is never betting against the Patriots. Like, whenever I do, they always seem to freaking win the game. Sucks. However, I mean, betting against them is impossible. I don't know how I can do it. But I'm going to. Give me the Seahawks. Let's go. Come on. Too good. Too talented. No, Patriots, get out of here. I'm done.
I love it. I love it. Chris, do you want me to go or would you like to go?
I'll keep it short and sweet. Go Pats. They're winning this ball game.
Okay.
I really expect you to take the Seahawks there. Wow, I'm stunned.
I
My life.
Everybody's been calling me a fake fan. Everybody's been calling me a fake fan, all right? But not today. Not today.
was
Maybe
doing a
tomorrow.
lot of I was doing a lot of thinking about my pick, and obviously we have there's a couple of things that go into this. At the end of the day, it does not matter to me that my team's not in it. It does not matter to me, but I will make a pick. And there's 4 former Minnesota Vikings in this Super Bowl. On the Patriots, it's Stephon Diggs, Kyrus Tonga, and Garrett Bradbury. On the Seahawks, it's Sam Darnold. I have watched Stephon Diggs go to AFC championship games, NFC championship games, not make it over the hump. I sat next to Garrett Bradbury's family in Detroit in 2018. So I'm going to go with the Patriots. I want to see Stephon Diggs win a Super Bowl.
Wow.
I want to see something. I want to see what Randy Moss was not able to do. Randy should have deserved a ring. I think Diggs deserves a ring. I saw him. He did everything for the Vikings that he could while he was there. Sam Darnold was only there 1 year. I'm splitting the difference. Go Pats.
I cannot
sick.
believe it.
I'm disgusted.
I
Go
cannot
Pats.
believe it.
Can't believe
I'm
I
hurt.
just heard the words Stephon Diggs deserves a ring.
Oh my! All
Oh.
right, you're a Cardi B guy, aren't you?
Hey, Bad Bunny's performing. I guarantee you she's going to come out for her song
Yeah,
with
even
him.
more
I do
reason
like
why I
Bad
don't
Bunny.
care.
I'm pretty excited for that. I do like Bad Bunny.
But I'm
Pretty
splitting the
excited for that.
difference. 2 Pats, 2 Seahawks. Joey, you know what to do.
Oh man, well, just had to swallow some throw up in my mouth real quick. But as always, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you're new here, like, comment, subscribe. We still are doing TikTok lives. Make sure to check us out on TikTok. And these episodes are also on Spotify, so check it out. Super Bowl boxes are still live. We have 2 weeks to the Super Bowl, so make sure you DM us on any social media to get in there. If you're returning, as always, thank you. We appreciate all the support that you continue to give us. And I guess for one last time, with the NFL coming to an end, go Bills.
And go Pats.